Hey YouTubers, thanks for stopping by. What are we making today? I'll tell you. We are making strawberry scones. Yeah, you heard right. But first, I think it's important that I give you a brief history of scones. Since the dawn of mankind, scones have been a staple of the human diet. Archaeologists have discovered cave drawings indicating that scones were highly sought after by our hunter-gatherer ancestors. Or, for those of you with a more biblical worldview, though the book of Genesis doesn't say specifically, many theologians think that scones were the forbidden fruit of the Garden of Eden. Fast forward a couple of millennia, and I think you'll be interested to know that amongst the many treasures found in King Tut's tomb, apparently he intended to take a plate of scones with him to the afterlife. In more modern history, it is well known that more than a few scones passed the lips of Queen Elizabeth. And that brings us right up to modern times, where scones can be found on the website of Natasha at natashaskitchen.com. We'll be using her recipe today. So let's get started.
First step is to get some fresh picked strawberries from your local orchard. Next, we're gonna de-stem, wash, and then dice these little guys up. We need 1 cup of diced strawberries. On to the dry ingredients. We need 2 cups of flour, 3 tablespoons of sugar, 1 tablespoon of baking soda, and a half teaspoon of salt. Give it a good mix, and then it's time to move on to the butter. We are going to be cubing up 8 tablespoons of chilled butter. Get that in the flour mix, and then break out your pastry knife. Next step is to add our strawberries to our flour mix, and then do a little folding. We'll make just a little indentation in the middle, and then we're gonna set this aside while we whip up some wet ingredients. We're gonna start with an egg, preferably a wet one, and we are gonna do a little mixing with our fork. Add some heavy cream, give that a whip or two, and then that's gonna go right in our little indentation. Then we're gonna stir it all up, not too much, but just enough to get it moist. Break out the parchment paper and give it a generous dusting of flour, because this stuff is sticky. We're gonna roll that out, well, dump it out, and then bring it all together and somehow make a 3/4 inch thick circle. Get out your cutting tool of choice. We're gonna try to make 12 perfectly even slices, which is, impossible. Slide the slices out so they don't bake together, and then it's time for the big transition onto the baking sheet. Now we got to put a little milk on top. I'm not sure why. And then sprinkle with some coarse sugar. Next step, you guessed it, into the oven. We're putting these in at 400 degrees and we're gonna let it go for 15 minutes, and when that time is up, we've got some golden, flaky, tasty strawberry scones. While those are cooling down, we're gonna make some icing. A little bit of powdered sugar, we need some milk, and then do a little stirring till it gets to the perfect consistency for drizzling. Oh yeah, it's perfect. And now, as you can tell, I don't really have a technique except to keep going till it's all gone.
Well, there you have it, strawberry scones. And you know what I always say, if it's good enough for the caveman, it's good enough for me. See you next time.